Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the studio this evening. Well, I'm going to try something new tonight. Last night we finished this section of a dragon scale bracelet. It's about half done, but I have now run out of these dark rose rings, so I need to order some more in order to finish this particular bracelet. So we shall put that to one side. It's a nice weighty piece, is that? What we're going to do is try another weave that I've not done before. This is a relative, well, it is an easy one. It's in theory European 4-in-1. May try 6-in-1, we shall see. And I'm going to do it in orange. So I'm going to try it 3.4. I'm going to try it with these rings. 3.4 is a bit tight for European 4-in-1, I understand. And I'm going to refer to instructions in order to assist me with this. Yeah, that would be really tight. Okay, again, look at the magic number. Magic number tells you lots of things. So we're going to use these, so I'll just tip some of these out. I'm also going to use some black ones of the same size, which means I don't want that. I do want this case of pretty colours. I remember which way the camera works. So I'm going to use an additional colour out of here as well. But to start with, we are going to just prepare a load of rings. Or a few rings anyway. Quite a few of these need closing, at least to start with. And some need, some do need opening. So I don't know how many I need of each. So what we're going to do is just do a few and we'll see how it goes. I know at the very least I need 4 just to start this off. The start of this is basically a really simple chain to start with, and then it gets a little bit more complicated after that, but apparently not particularly so. And so we shall just do about, oh, I don't know, a couple of dozen. Close a couple of dozen of these, and then we'll do some weaving with those. And if I'm going to close a couple of dozen of these, then I'm going to need about a dozen which are open. Now the open ones are easier, of course. To do, don't take quite as much time to prepare. So I'm going to try and make another bracelet with a twist. Well, I'm not going to twist the bracelet, but there's a design choice I'm making. Should prove interesting, I hope. And this colour sort of inspired that design choice, so it will be interesting to see if it works. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that's 12, so I'll do another 12 before I start doing any weaving at all. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Let's just grab 12 of them out, and then I know how many are there. So far in this this craft we've tried quite a few new weaves, all in all. Not quite one a night, but we have done a fair number of them, which is proved very interesting. Some more challenging weaves than others. Hopefully the 4-in-1 isn't one of the more challenging ones. Nice to have a weave that starts easy. That's usually the hard part with chainmail weaving. He's getting started. Once you're started, then it usually becomes a bit easier. But something like the half Persians, they are a tricky to start. I think I'm beginning to get the hang of it, but you've kind of got to either work really slowly and carefully, or just trust that you're doing it right. And I'm not quite at the trust I'm doing it right yet stage. I thought I was, and then I failed in the last one I tried to make, so I'm back to the slow and careful. So that's closed. Let's just open about a dozen of these. Turn this around. This is a ring. It's a ring that is used to open rings. Because you don't have to grab them with the pliers. You can just drop the ring into the slot and twist. It makes doing this quicker. And obviously anything that speeds up the process is good. Not holding the ring tight enough though. That doesn't speed up the process, that just slows it down. So that is 6. I'm proving I can count again, you see, and I'm still not holding that ring tight enough. What it is actually, it's the chain nose pliers that make it not as easy as it might be. So if I just switch to these, which are a flat nose, I've got it holds the ring at a wider base, and that way then it doesn't slip and turn if I don't quite hold it strongly enough. So that makes 10, so 2 more will make 12. You see, I can even do maths. 11, 12. I'm almost certainly going to need more of these, so I shall just leave them there. I'm also going to get out another colour. So I shall have a few black. I have no idea how many black I want. Look at that, it's formed a chain all by itself. So I'll fasten that in case I knock it off the desk, but I'm just going to have a few black ones. I don't know, I literally don't know how many black ones I want, because I literally haven't worked out how I'm going to use them yet. Their use is hopefully is going to be kind of random. I don't know quite how that's going to turn out. Let's just do, I don't know. I literally don't know how many I'm going to need. that'll do. Let's close about 4 of these. If I can get them to untangle themselves. There we go. Now these are really nice jet black, and they're shiny, although of course being black, they're sort of it's an odd sort of reflection, but they're quite nice. There are all the rings here that you're seeing, I don't want that anymore, are made out of aluminium. They've then been anodized and dyed. So the anodization process dyes them all these colours that you see. Well, that you've seen. Obviously there's only 2 on the desk at the moment. But there are 15 or 16 colours that I regularly use. Or that I have available to me to use. 16 in one type of ring and 15 in the other, for aluminium anyway. There's a new colour, which is the one that was on the dragon scale, called dark rose, which is only available in limited sizes at the moment. So, weaving time. Start with 1 of these and 4 of these. And then I close this. So that's literally is a 4-in-1 on camera. There we go. That literally is a 4-in-1. Four rings in one ring. Where's the focus point? About there. Okay. Right. I'll try and stay in focus. So what I'm going to do now is take those 2. And if I understand this correctly, I put that through there and I just build a simple chain. To my desired length. Now then, I forgot when I just closed that to put 2 additional rings on there. So I'll open it up again. And I am thinking at this point I will put a black ring and then an orange ring. And then when I pick that up, I'm going to use a black ring in there. And then a gold. I'll do this with the pliers. A gold and a black. This is going to be challenging for my memory. Okay, that's done roughly what I wanted it to do, so we'll go with orange. I'll pick that up and we'll go with orange. This is what makes it frustrating, and this is when you need patience. When you keep doing things like I just did there, keep dropping that ring. Otherwise, no, you don't. 2 orange rings. That, another orange ring. See what I mean? When it doesn't quite go as you want it to do. We'll go with 2 orange rings. Put a black one through here, I think. And we'll put 2 black rings on. So the black rings are going on not quite at random, but random-ish. Blimey. Sorry, that exclamation there. There's a pussycat under the desk here. But it's a pussycat that never visits under the desk here. In fact, was only just recently ever visited here in the studio at all. A pussycat called Cleo. She's now gone under the desk, and she's now sat, probably about to curl up on my footrest. So I'm not going to be able to put my feet down. So we're going there. So I'm going to use a black ring. And actually I could do with another 2 closed black rings, so I will just close 2. I did mention I don't know how many black ones I want. We'll see how that goes. About now start actually talking to the rings, and as long as they don't talk back, I'm okay. Cleo, that tickles. She's just moving around just in front of my knees, and either a whiskers or a fur or something is tickling me. Right, orange. And 2 more. Now she's off. Sat there for 2 minutes and has now disappeared. There are times when it would be really wonderful to be able to read the mind of a cat, just to see what it is that they're thinking of. So we're building a chain with black bits on it. Not sure if anybody's going to guess what the black bits are just yet, but if you feel like having a go, then you're quite welcome to. So another couple of, well, I will place another couple of orange rings on there. English language is funny, or rather our use of it is funny. I was about to say throw another couple of rings on there. I probably couldn't throw them on if I tried. There again, if I wasn't trying, I'd probably find they'd go without a problem. Actually, this wants to be about 7 inches long. So I'm going to measure it. Okay, well it's about 4 1/4, so we're about another 2 3/4 inches, which means it wants to be about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, 17, 18, 20, 23, 20, yeah, about 23 rings. Okay, I don't have 23 rings on the desk, so we've got 2, 3, 6, 9, so we need some more. It's surprising in some ways just how many rings you go through, and you know, you can have a big pile of rings and it looks like there's enough and they just disappear fairly quickly. I suppose I did what, 24 plus the black ones, and another 20. We need another 23, so I did about half. I will do some more black ones as well. I think we're going to use some of those. That we'll put a black one with that, and I'm just guessing what I need here in terms of black, so close up some of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that makes 18. That makes 21, so I want another 2. At least. I'll do one black. Actually, I'll do a couple of more black and then a couple of more. So I'll do more than I need, because I don't actually know how, you know, as I randomly sort of put the blacks in, sort of randomly, to conform to a pattern that I've got in my head, which is a random pattern, but that was sort of the start of it. So, and I don't know exactly how I want to put these on as we just progress down this chain, so just do some spares. Thank you. As soon as I let go, it came undone. Close 3 and I'll open 3. I'm getting better at this closing of rings. It's the practice means it's I'm actually trying to open that, you silly person, not close it. So 1, 2. So practice is making some of this easier. Now then, It doesn't really matter which end I was working from. So we'll start with an orange ring, and we'll put an orange on and a black. Yeah, we're about the sort of a reasonable distance from the last one. Then we'll use a black. And I'll put 2 black rings on. And I'm going to use another black. And I'm going to put 2 black rings on. Excuse me going off frame. I'm trying to keep on frame, but I moved the camera yesterday and it's the first time, well, first stream after that I'm working with the camera in this position, and it just takes me a little bit of getting used to where it is. So I want on here an orange and a black. Of course, this idea what I'm doing here may not work at all, but we shall find out. Which is part of the fun of trying new weaves and new things out, is just seeing whether they work. In principle it ought to do, but whether it actually does in practice, I'm not sure yet. Orange, 2 more orange. And we'll see just how long this is, because I've got a feeling it's about the right sort of length. I'm just going to measure it on the desk, so it'll be below the frame for the moment. Okay, another 3 rings and it will be about 7 inches. And then when you sorry, when I put a clasp on the end of that, that'll make it about 7.5. Okay, so that's the length, and now the next bit just involves me making sure that I get everything, the next set of rings in the right place, so they go that way, yeah, and then that one's coming this way, and I just simply hook in underneath. Okay. I get hold of that and get hold of that, with that out of the way, this next ring should just be a case, yep, of going through there and coming up through that one there, like that. And of course I am very quickly at this point going to run out of orange rings again, but so I do exactly the same thing. It's down and up, like that. Now then, So we've got the black coming up there, but at this moment in time it's not going to affect the pattern, so I go down and up. And I do need to take, well, apart from the fact I'm going to need some more rings opening, but at this point in time I want to just take a look at my okay, now I need black. Okay, so let's open a few rings. I could at this point use my opening ring opener ring, but for just a couple or so it's almost as easy just to do it this way. Fluffy Twiglet, good evening. Welcome to the studio this evening. Nice to see you back again. How are you doing? I am trying out a new weave, a European 4-in-1 weave. And I'm going to use it to make a bracelet. I hope. It may or may not work. We're about to find out. And I'm mixing in some black with it for a particular theme for the bracelet. It has been inspired by something. It may not be obvious what that inspiration is at this moment in time, but hopefully it won't be too long before it is. But I shall tease everybody watching with that for the moment. That's a few. I'm going to need some more, but that'll do for the moment. So I did that, and so I wanted to pick this up with a black one this time. Down and up and close. And I want another black one. Down, up and close. And now then, and I did that wrong, so we'll just open that one when I can find the end of it, which is there. I skipped a ring. That's that. That's the one I should have picked up there. Okay, now then, do I want another black ring at this point, or should I switch to I'm doing this right, aren't I? Yep, I am, I think. I'm almost convinced I am. Now I think we'll switch to orange for this one. Go down and come up, because we've got another black shortly. That black has moved, let's just tweak it. There we go. So I think this one is an orange, and then we'll go back to the black, so down and up there. And that's there. So now to the black, and we go through that one, up that one. I think the next row might be a little bit more of a challenge on this, but we will see. This is the very first time I've ever done this weave, so we're getting to see just what it's like. Yeah, I'm trying to hold them in a particular place, but it doesn't actually matter, so I'm going to use black again. As I said, I've got this, I'll say pattern, but it's sort of idea in my head about roughly how I want this to look, and that's what I'm following, but it's not a real sort of pattern of sort of, you know, black must go in this particular place or that particular place. It's just, do I feel like putting a black one there? Does it look right? And I'm going to use another one. And then we'll switch to using orange, which I do have open there. And I need some more black rings out. I'm probably going to end up using more black than I thought. Orange, so that one and that one. I'll be really pleased if this actually works and looks good. Well, it'll work physically from the point of view of it. It will be a 4-in-1 chain bracelet, but if it looks good as well, that'll be even more pleasing. So down there and up that one, and then I shall need to open some more black rings, because I do need some more here. But we're starting to get something that you can't quite tell what it is just yet. You're doing more scrapbooking. You're going to have thousands of ideas by the time you're finished. You're not going to know what to do with them. You're going to want to go to college for another 3 years just to be able to do all your ideas. Right, so I shall get hold of another load of black rings. Okay. Well, that's not strictly true, but I can understand it. Okay, I was just looking at my my helpful diagram. So we're working with open rings now all the time by the looks of it. So I'll just open these fair few blacks I've got here. Only a few. Yeah, but some people's few are other people's many. To paraphrase some other saying that I have no idea what it is or where it comes from. What does that sound like? Actually, it sounds like a quote from Star Trek: the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. But I'm not actually sure if that's what I was thinking of. See, if I was thinking of things like that for a scrapbook, only a few would probably mean two. But that's only because it's a scrapbook. If I was thinking of a notebook to write ideas in, then it'd be a completely different thing. But it's just the idea of a scrapbook is something I kind of don't understand myself. Let go, thank you. I wasn't holding that hard. Right, I'll need some more orange open, I know that definitely, so let's open them now. Whilst I've got the ring in my hand and we're busy opening things. Theme Hospital! Good afternoon, welcome to the studio this evening, how are you? Not been around for a little while, so I assume you've been busy doing things. That sounds like a paper jam. Have you got everything you wanted out of it? Or is it jammed up? Be with you in a minute then. Okay, let me just... Excuse me guys, I shall be back in a moment. I just have to go and jam a laser printer. It will take me a couple of moments. From start printing it. Order some more laser time. Sorry? What? All I can do is turn it off. Okay guys. Hey, that's amazing. It's amazing because I'm watching my feedback window and I'm back before it's finished, before it's got to the point where I left the stream momentarily. So that's just an interesting coincidence. Of course you guys are now sitting through that sort of stream delay whilst I come back, which of course I am back, but you guys don't know that just yet. Dear. I do wish Twitch didn't have such a long stream delay. Well, I certainly am fine this evening, Theme Hospital, thank you. It's been somewhat of a busy day, and of course, for those of you who are not in the UK or not in Yorkshire in the UK, we've had some interesting, really heavy storms today. Apparently we've had lightning and thunder, although I didn't notice it myself, but I did notice the rain suddenly fall out of the sky, which seems an apt description of exactly what happened. It was just like, I don't know, there's a great big tank of water and you suddenly slice the bottom off of it. It just fell. You've got a 17-second delay, have you? Okay. Fluffy Twiggler says good evening to you, Mrs. Aragonat. And Mrs. Aragonat waves back at you. I don't mind storms as long as they're not where I am. I don't mind watching them from a distance. Yeah, you did. Mrs. Aragonat got caught in it and was instantly soaked. I say, well, I enjoy watching the lightning storms. I enjoy watching from a distance. Don't like watching them close up. They get a bit scary then. Okay. And 17 seconds. Theme Hospital also says good evening, Miss Aragonat, or Mrs. Aragonat. At least she got swim. Yeah, you could just about swim home. It was a bit like that. That's how I had it described to me. Was the area where she was turned into a swimming pool really quickly. Now then, I got as far as somewhere down here. If I work backwards, I'll know where I got to. Maybe. One there. I got to there. Okay, and they were going like that, and they were going like that. That's going like that, so that's telling me where I am. Okay, I worked that out. That kind of amazes me that I was able to do that. Sometimes I'm easily amazed. I tell you what, shall I ask that question? I'll ask that question, Fluffy Twiglet. Actually, I know I do know the answer, but I'm going to see what we get. Are you an artist, Mrs. Aragonat? You're a bit of an artist.
I can make candles, and I like photography.
Yeah. So the answer is she can make candles, and some moulded candles, that is, some really pretty candles. She also likes photography, and what she's also forgotten is, especially since we were only discussing it yesterday, was that she writes.
Oh, yeah.
She writes the cats. Well,
No?
she writes the cats' diaries for them. So you've heard the cats come in sometimes, talking. So that's what they're doing. They're dictating their diaries. Now this wants to be black again. Yeah, and then we'll go to back to orange. But yeah, she was really good at making, creating molds of objects and then turning them into, well, they're candles because they have a wick. If they didn't have a wick, they'd be wax models. But candles. and then generally painting them. That ring is very slightly out of alignment. I think it's that one. So I'll just give that a bit of a tweak. No, it's not that one. It's that one. I thought I saw one that was just out. Very slightly. It's very slightly out of... I do know she isn't going to be persuaded to stream though. Yeah, photography. Yeah, Fluffy Twiglet is a photographer. So as it says here, yeah, photography. Good answer. She's a writer. Awesome. See, people do use the word awesome. I just don't know what you are in America, aren't you, Fluffy Twiglet? Not sure. Obviously, you don't have to answer that if you choose not to. My wife has this theory that only Americans say awesome. Of course, what I need now is sort of, you know, anybody from Finland or Denmark or Japan or something like that to say awesome as well. Just to prove that's not quite the case. It's all because I used the word the other day. Okay, and then that ring there forms the end of the second row. Don't actually know how many rows I'm going to do, but I'm just going to kind of go until it looks like I've done what I want to do. Right. Well, Fluffy Twiglet is in the UK.
Yes, but does she regularly use the word?
Yes. Right. Now then, I need to work out which is the right end of this. So that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Okay, so I started with 2. So they go that way and they go, that's right, okay. And that one goes like that. So what I have to do now is to work out how to put this next ring through. Okay, which if I'm right is just like that. Now this is the, well, I suppose it's the dangerous bit from the point of view of I'm guessing that that's correct. And the next one then goes through those two there, that way, and that actually looks like it might be right. And hopefully we'll very quickly get this to a stage where I don't actually have to work out, it'll just lay like a sheet of chainmail, and that's at the point where I kind of consider it sort of stable. It's easy enough to see where you you go from there. Yeah, Fluffy Twiglet's an illustration student at university, thinking possibly about specialising in photographic illustration next year. So she's been busy sort of creating a scrapbook of ideas. Can't wait to get back to university. She wants the summer over.
Really?
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you can.
What, the summer or the university?
The summer. Time off.
You might not have caught that, guys, but oh yeah. Mrs. Zarraganat's advice is to enjoy the summer and time off university while you can. But Mrs. Zarraganat is definitely a fan of summer. Not hot weather, but summer. Sunshine.
Well,
Yeah. Warm weather, sunshine, not humid weather like what we have at the moment. Right, now I want black. 4 months off summer is way too long. I love uni and I know we have to enjoy it, but I'm bored. She's bored with the summer holiday.
not when she's working full time.
Well, that is true, but that's not the case at the moment. Yeah, the comment there was actually I forgot what the comment was. It was something. What was it? Not when you're working full time. You don't have that long a holiday, so that's when you start to wish you still did. Okay, black. Okay, that's black, and I want this thing to try and stay where I want it to go. It must be twisted. Is it twisted? That's that way. That's that way. That's two. Why won't that lie straight? Okay, at this point I sit down and start working this out again. Have I done something incorrect here? No, it's just the way that the weave is, just the way the rings hang. That's making it look a little bit odd. Up that one and down through that one to match that there, and then we close that off. Do I want another black ring? No, I don't think so. Not with the not with the other black coming up just around there. So that one and that one. Anybody got any ideas of what the inspiration for this is yet? So I want an orange here, go through there and there, and then we switch back to black. I'm actually hoping at this point I am going to have enough black rings left to do this. I haven't particularly used any, so I know I've got around about 100 rings, but now we switch to the black. Indeed, Fluffy Twiggler, well done. That is exactly what the inspiration is. It is a tiger bracelet. So I'm trying to do here is do something that resembles tiger stripes, which are not, you know, and not get too regular with them, so they are somewhat random. And then another black one, I think here will just lead that stripe on a little bit further. So now I can describe them as what they are, of course, the stripes. And through there. I suppose instead of a tiger it could be a tiger, but you know, that might be breaking copyright, so I'll stick with a tiger. I haven't known any tigers that have complained about copyright yet. Now back to orange. And you're there again, if I did have a tiger come to the door to discuss copyright of his stripes with me, I think I would give in gracefully. And agree to whatever measures were being requested. Now we're back to the black again. I love the way, whatever weave it is I'm doing, I love the way the rings just sort of intertwine with each other in what is effectively a very obvious pattern in whatever weave it is, once you understand the weave, and just how nice they actually look when they do that. Okay, well, I tell you what, if I'm still doing this tomorrow, we'll make a clash with something like blue then. Or alternatively, I suppose what I could do is go for I could do some orange screening, couldn't I, rather than blue screening, but then the rings might disappear. So I can't remove the background at the moment. Now then, I wanted that black sort of disappears, sort of comes in and disappears off there, so we'll use an orange ring at this point. Sometimes it's hard just working out where that should be there or quite where. So this is the third ring in this. Yeah, that's right then. and as I get a little bit further on, the sheets become a little bit easier to see. Oh bother. So 3, 2. Yeah, I'm doing. What am I doing? 2, 3, 3, 2, yeah. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. 3, 2. Okay. There. Those two go that way. So that's got 3 in it already. That's 2. So we're now at this point here where I join those two together, and now I want to join those two together, that one and that one. Okay. No, I don't, because that would just stretch that one and that one. Okay, that's 3. Done those 2, so and that will be 2. So I join. That becomes 3. That should be 3. How do I make that? I've already got a ring through. Okay, now I'm confused. Excuse me, I'm just trying to work this out. That's because I've got it upside down, haven't I? There we go. I think that's going to sort that out. 3, 2. And if I join, that's it. I had the thing the other way up, so this side was on that side. So I was looking at the end, and it just didn't add up. And then I noticed that there was sort of a step here, which is where this last ring is, and then it suddenly clicked. The whole thing was upside down. And then if I now work with it upside down, then or the right way up, it becomes quite clear which way that ring wants to go. And then if I just put a single ring through the end there, and that sits like that, and then that joins onto, and that makes that more sense. So if I keep this the right way round, actually it doesn't make, in theory it doesn't make any difference, but if I go all the way down to the start here, I then just kind of repeat what I've just done. So so this one is going to go down and up like that to repeat that, and this is sort of the second, third row. And that goes yeah, down and up, and I pick that one up there. Indeed, Fluffy Twiglet, that's just what was needed. But you know, when you're looking at a chain and you well, because I dropped it, when I picked it up and it twisted, and that's what threw it out. I mean, as I'm looking at it now, because I know exactly where I am. Yeah, it's dead easy which rings are going where. But DR Vape, good evening, welcome to the studio. Thank you very much. That's kind of you to say so. Well, this is this is going to be a tiger bracelet, hence the orange and black stripes, or the orange with black stripes. So I'm just gonna, this is the first time I've done this weave, and it's the first time I've done a tiger inspired bracelet, so this is completely brand new. I may not extend this black on the next row. In fact, I may interject at the bottom here some this is going to need something like a box clasp or a split clasp. I think it's going to need something like this to hold the end in place. I think once it's done, because otherwise, if this goes on to a sort of a single ring, it'll just bunch up. Okay, so we'll use orange now. The answer to that, Fluffy Twiglet, is yes and no. Let me just put that down in a way in which I know I can pick it up. I'll show you. The front of that's a bit messy. We got that far, and I've run out of the dark rose rings. There's 200 or close to 200 rings, dark rose rings there, and 200 purple, which are the ones that look blue in the middle. So there's almost 400 rings in there, and it's 3.5 inches long. Is that? So I need another 400 rings in order to finish that off. But that's dragon scale for those that aren't familiar with it. Often done with two colours of rings like that, but can be done with a single colour. One of the nice things about the two colours is when you look at it at an angle obliquely like that, you see sort of an underlying colour and an overlying colour. and when you look at it more directly on, you get this sort of sparkly effect out of the middle, because you kind of can see through it, but you get sort of glimpses of the blue. I am hoping it does. I mean, it is a wide bracelet though. It's more of a cuff, I guess, rather than a third bracelet, but that's an interesting style. For a bracelet, it might perhaps have been a little bit better, sort of a couple of rings shorter. Anyway, back to European 4-in-1, and I got there. This one is really flexible, of course. So I've done that one. I was just about to switch back to gold and do that one there. I really wish the camera would actually portray that purple as I see it. It's a lovely colour. Okay, we're now into the black again. Don't quite know how far to take the black stripes. I might not. I might just sort of do sort of little, fairly short ones. Or maybe this one I'll take all the way across the full width of however wide we do this bracelet. Indeed, I hope she does. It'll be nice to see how that picture progresses, and we've probably got a lot of people in stream now wondering just why Santa would be streaming tomorrow night, and a lot of people will be thinking of the jolly fella with the red coat, or the green coat if you're traditional. For those that don't know, Fluffy Twiggler is referring to her friend Santa NYE, who was doing did her first stream earlier this week, doing electronic art, fantasy portrait. I'm gonna go straight across in orange on this, and so it's looked to be a really good portrait and really good artwork. So she may stream tomorrow night. She does. I certainly recommend you check out the channel. I don't know if she did she? Do you know if she stored the video Fluffy Twiggler, so people can check the VOD, or didn't she do that one? Anyway, if you go to the channel profile, you'll be able to see if she recorded her first stream and see what the artwork looks like, and if you like it, give her a follow. It's always nice to see new artists and crafters coming into creative and expanding the range of things that are there for people to see. And pick that one up there like that. Now then, what I'm going to do now is use a bit of the black down here. So if I've done this right, I just pick that up. Yep, I think so. She didn't. Oh no, that's something she's missed out on there. She ought to do that. Fluffy Twiggler. Yeah, by all means, drop the link in for people to take a, well, at least a look at the profile page, I guess. Since there's no extra charge for recording, for recording the streams, it's worth letting Twitch record them so that people can check them when you're not around. Oh, that's the image. Okay. Do you want to? I thought you were going to link the channel, but that's the, yes, that's the picture as I understand it, as it was at the end of the stream. Okay. I think it's just, if I recall correctly, it's just a setting in the in the settings, in the Twitch settings. You just set it to yes, to have Twitch store them. I'll put a black one there. We'll use an orange one here. Okay. Twitch only keeps them for 14 days, but if she's using it, if she wants to record them herself, she's OBS will do the recording at the same time. I assume she's using OBS. This one I want to be black. And I'm almost out of these opened rings. Okay, I've got black coming in here. What do I want to do with that? Let's put a black ring in. Yeah, we'll use a black one here, then I'll put an orange in, and then we'll go back to black. So I'm just making these colours up, well, I'm not making the colours up, the black and orange, I'm just making up the placement of them as I go along. I'll do better if I close the rings properly. There we go. So let's put an orange one in here. And we'll go back to the black. And I want another black one. Do I want another black one in there? Yeah, we'll put another black one in. Now this is going to be the very last black one, so I'm just going to open that. I've got a black one here that's closed, so I'm just going to open it. Find where it went. No, it definitely went. Now there it is, I can see it, so I shall pick it up. Quite often they just escape so far that you don't see them. It needs to be a little bit more open. That goes through there and through there, and we close that one off. Okay, so if I get hold of this, sort of, it's not quite sitting right, but you've got an idea there of the way it sort of looks. How about if I try and put this on my arm as a sort of like that, really. Good evening, Adi. I was watching you earlier. Kylie Arty, yes, indeed. Well, you notice I did catch myself on that one. Dear. I did catch myself saying that, I think. Have I got something twisted around there? No, that falls in. Thank you very much, Adi, for that. Yeah. Tigger would be proud. Indeed. Okay, well, I need to open some more rings, so I shall just put that down. So I think we've got what? 1, 2, 3. There's sort of 7 rows there. It would be kind of nice if it was about twice that width, maybe. So 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, probably another 4 rows. That way then I can use that sort of clasp. I'd probably get a rolled gold one with 4 rings on it that way, and then it will hold the ends spaced out rather than trying to bring them to a clasp like a lobster claw or a toggle clasp. Right, so I could sit down and count the rings, but I'm just going to open them. Actually, I'm not going to open the closed ones, just purely because I don't want to spend the time looking for where the join is. So how did your stream go, Eddie Fall Guy? I saw you making the Mystique and finishing off the one before it. Indeed, it and the picture she was doing was quite was very good as well. Really sad looking picture there. I was doing a couple of nights ago. I tried doing a dragon scale, and actually I was using the wrong size rings. Ultimately, they're too tight, and I realised that one of the internal rings hadn't laid correctly. I was carrying on even though it was tight, just to see what it was like, as a tight weave. But I realised one of the internal rings hadn't laid in the right place, and I tried undoing it, and I got as far as opening it and starting to twist it to lay it in the right place, and the whole thing at that point just jammed up, and I couldn't shift that ring either way. I couldn't close it, I couldn't shift it, and eventually just took the whole thing apart, which was all part of the learning exercise. But otherwise, apart from that, I've been quite lucky in all the ones that I've done where I have made a mistake. I've not needed. I just needed to be able to just reposition the ring. And that must have been yesterday then. Yeah, the dark rose. It wasn't blue. It's purple. It's that special blue. It's quite a chunky one. I haven't decided. I might narrow it down a little bit. I'm not quite sure. I'm actually going to because I'm out of dark rose now. I only got a few just to see what the colour was like, and I've used them all. So I might finish it to full 7.5 inch, and then or 7 inch, and then take a look. I'm not sure. I might narrow it down a little bit, It's somewhat of a statement piece as it stands, but it's that purple inside the dark rose is a really nice colour combination. Looking at the time, I'm going to just open a few black and see how it goes. I may not have time to finish this. And I've switched pliers again. For opening, I prefer using these wider nosed pliers. I'm less likely to slip the rings from not holding it tight enough. Again, don't know how many black, and I'm hoping I don't run out of black while I do this particular bracelet. Okay, so let's see. Get hold of it again, and then work out just how I go about doing this. And I think, if I remember rightly, that's, I just go through the end one on that. That looks right. Yep. You're going to go do some doodling. Okay, Caliati. Well, if it does turn into anything you feel like showing us, then drop by. It would be nice to see you stream it, but you know. I want to come up through these two. No, it's have I done that right? Yes, I have. No, Eddie, it's I spend about generally spend about two to 3 weeks doing the others, because I do one piece. But kind of, as you know, one piece with chainmail is 1 to 2 hours, and so you know, it's kind of, I like doing it, so I want to sort of do it a little bit longer than 1 to 2 hours. So I've just spent about a week, just over, I can't remember when I started, just over a week or 10 days, something like that, doing this. And then now where am I? Just done that one. And I think tomorrow will probably be the last of the jewellery for a little while, and we'll be back to either doing a carving on Monday or doing what do I want to do there? I want to go orange, or doing pyrography. I've just done that one there. Okay, that's 4, that's 4, that wants to be 4, that is 4, so I have just lost track of what I'm doing. I've put that on the end. Oh no, I'm going to want black, I think. That's fine, that's fine. So it's that one on, no, I've just done that one there. Okay, I have now lost this again. That's 4, that's 3, that's 4, that's 4. Put it down on the desk and study it. So I've done that one and I've done that one. And I've done that one. And that there, so yeah, so it's there. Now then, you see, totally confused me. That I wonder why. I wonder. I missed that, Cagliati. I guess. I've just lost track of this again. That one. Alright, I'm going to put this in whilst I'm looking at it on the desk. So it's going to go through there and through there. Okay. In fact, that's a good point. Let me check I am following you, Cagliati. It should be. I thought I was, but apparently Twitch didn't. So I now am. So that's why I didn't know that you. Well, that's why I potentially didn't know that you'd done it. No, that's come undone. That one there as well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, it's alright. When I finish the stream, I'll be back to typing things, and I can't type and type at the same time. I know that sounds daft, but I can't. When you're typing chat and you're typing another document, you kind of easily get confused. It's kind of weird because at the weekend, a lot of the streamers that I watch a lot don't broadcast at weekends, so I end up watching more more sort of creative streams at the different creative streams at the weekend, and of course in principle I kind of want to say hello and things at that time, and I kind of can't whilst I'm typing other things. I'm going to leave that as it is, and I'm going to go straight up orange past this. I don't want to bring it to a point, that would look a little bit odd. So as you're so keen on the pyrography Fluffy Twiggler, you got any ideas for what I might do? What sort of pyrographic image do you think you'd like to see? Not promising anything, but just soliciting ideas, because at this moment in time I haven't got a clue. or anybody else actually. I mean, it doesn't, it's not limited to Fluffy Twiglet answering that question. You Cagliati flips a table. That sounds like you got really frustrated with something just then. Like writers have bumps. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. No, I sometimes feel like that as well. You know, that's kind of the problem I've got with art. A lot of the time is I've got lots of images in my own head that I don't know how to start, and therefore don't. And I just need something as a prompt to just to get me going, and then I'm away. I'm going to add in a black ring here. I mean, even sometimes when I'm actually doing an image, I can't see the image in my mind, even though I'm maybe following references or something. And that's a little bit frustrating, because it's really hard to execute an image that you actually don't sort of feel. Black one. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Once I get that, in some ways it's a little bit hard to stream sometimes. Yeah, it's such a good idea. You just want to keep going. And I suppose technically I could, but I really like the idea of you guys being able to see the thing sort of end to end, all the stages. If you came into the stream, to be able to see all of it done, and not sort of miss bits out just because I've been doing them off stream. Okay. And no, I didn't scratch that ring. You heard that big click, which was the pliers coming off the ring and snapping together. No matter how hard you try, as fast as you can to do it, you cannot make that loud click noise except when you slip off a ring, which just shows you how much pressure you must be holding, how much spring tension there is in the jaws, that when it slips off the ring, they actually snap shut faster than you can actually close them. One thing I was thinking of doing for the pyrography, actually I came across an image that I'd airbrushed. I'm showing, for some reason it came up on a stream the other night, and I was showing I think 3D block and an image of a monorail from Disney World or Disneyland, I'm not sure which one, and I was kind of thinking that I might do that, and one of the things I'd have to do with that is to draw it out first, either on the wood or more than likely onto a piece of paper, and then do trace down onto the wood. So it might actually get to see a little bit of sort of traditional art, if you like, or traditional drawing when I start doing that. So if anybody wants to, they'll be able to see. Yep, I want black there, and I want black on the end as well. I think streaming itself generates energy, Kylie. That's kind of what I find like. I can before a stream starts, I can be, I'm not that sure I want to do this, do I want to take the night off, and I can feel tired and stuff like that, and then as soon as the camera goes on, as soon as it goes live, 3, 2, 1 live, and I'm wide awake, and I feel like I've got that energy and the will to carry on, if you like. Which just moments before then, I was kind of in two minds, and just pushing that start button, and things change. Yeah, I want this black stripe here to be a little bit wider, so we will first realign that ring. Then make it a little bit wider. No, I think that'll do. We'll go to orange at this point. Was it? I think Miss Cookies says the same thing. They get very drained by an art stream. I do find it tiring, and talking for 2 hours is quite draining. I've kind of got used to it. As I mentioned before, I used to do lecturing. Internally at work, so I was basically doing some computer training, and that sort of involved talking all day, so you kind of got used to doing that, and almost in some cases with certain classes, shall we say, it was almost a monologue for the complete day. So I guess I kind of got used to that. The only difference, of course, is I've got a video camera in front of me now, which I didn't back then. But that's really just substituting, a classroom of people with a particular camera. So it's a bit more. It's almost as though it's kind of one-to-one in a way. But I do understand what you mean. Who or what is Unico, Fluffy Twiglet? You've dropped you've dropped it into the stream, so explain. I don't mind you dropping it in there. There's obviously a good reason, but I've lost where I'm up to. Where am I up to? I'm up to there. So this one is orange. I think you. Oh, it's my feeling, shall we say? I mean, I know there are people on Twitch that don't talk. It's my feeling that a streamer needs to do some talking. Honestly, all the time. I mean, I go quiet from time to time, and I know it's a heck of a lot easier when there's people in chat that are actually talking back to you. That makes one hell of a difference. But I know personally, I've got to be really interested in what the streamer's doing if I'm going to listen to a silent stream, or even if they're just playing music. It's the same thing. If they're not saying anything, half of what I watch a streamer for is what not only the subject, but the person themselves. So, Harley Quinn. I'll take a look after the stream. But yes, I mean, don't worry about yes, speech therapy. I can understand there might be a reluctance there to talk, and it'll be the trolls that. I suspect are because anybody with respect for you won't mention it, and the trolls, you've got a ban button, just ban them. That's the easiest way, but I do understand, but it's amazing how I don't know about speech therapy, whether Twitch and streaming would help. Might do, it might not, but it certainly helps people who are. There's a lot of people who stream that are shy. I am. I used to be a salesman, and the kind of the thing is that the people at the other end don't really know you. You're watching me. You don't really know me, if you know what I mean. We could pass each other. Well, I could pass you in the street and not know you were there. You might recognise me, but of course I wouldn't recognise you unless I've seen you on stream. I kind of have a good memory for faces, but not for names. But the one thing I kind of found is that most of the time people are not bothered. I'm really shy, and yet I can go into a room full of people I don't know, walk in the door and just say hello everybody. And it's kind of an act in a way, and I've lost where I'm up to that one, so I'm doing that one. So yeah, it's if you just think of it like that, then sometimes it helps. That's a really hard one, isn't it? I kind of struggle. I struggled with that myself a lot, Cagliati. Describing yourself as an art. I drew, I painted, I airbrushed. And I still kind of struggle with the designation artist. I do call myself an artist these days. But I still kind of struggle with it, and I sometimes use I use it in conjunction with like artist and crafter. I mean, what I'm doing here making the bracelet is crafting. The fact that I am putting this design into it out of my head is artistry. So it's it's a really hard description. I know. What it is you're comparing yourself to other people who you consider to be artists and thinking you're not as good. I suspect that's what you're doing, and therefore you don't believe you can call yourself an artist. That's really the way I sort of looked at it. And yet, the instant you pick up a pen or a pencil and start doing something, that's art. You are an artist. You know, from that definition, an artist doesn't. The word artist does not imply a level of skill. It's just a descriptive tag. Yeah, most people don't like the sound of their own voice, Cagliati, but don't forget you don't hear your own voice. Well, you do. You know, you hear it like I'm speaking now. I hear my own voice, obviously, but it's not like you're listening to a recording of yourself, unless you listen to your own, recorded videos back. So you don't hear that recorded voice. You only hear the voice that you hear when you're speaking normally anyway. So you're not. I've lost where I am. I'm there quite clearly. And so I say when you lay this down, and I can't. It's not really showing you, but I can now clearly see, because this is kind of stable. Hey, that's a bit longer than it should be. No, I've just got that flipped the wrong way. I can quite clearly see where I've got up to. So all I need to do is grab that ring and hold it up, and then I'll put the camera back. Well, that's the. I mean, that is one useful thing you can do, Cagliati, if you think your voice is too loud, but other think it's too quiet. Of course, when it's broadcast, you're not. You can talk quieter, and you can turn the mic gain up, and of course they can turn the volume up, so it gets over that problem. And as I said. Fluffy Twiglet, an artist is somebody who performs art. Art is the creation of something. A welder can do art. I want an orange and then black, I think. I don't know. Well, I mean, Cagliati, of course, you watch me do 5 different things. I do more than that because I glass engraving, rotary carving, airbrushing, cross stitch, rug making, or 2 different kinds of rug making, tapestry type needlepoint. So I do a heck of a lot, but that's part of what defines me as an artist, if you like, that I do different things. I don't stick to one thing, and yes, it means I'm not as good as I could be if I stuck to doing just one thing, but it gives me more variety, and some of the techniques transfer. A lot of the monochrome stuff I've been doing, transfers, airbrush, pyrography, scraper board. 3 different, you can do monochrome in all 3, and the techniques sort of transfer. So I get some level of now then, am I going to go orange there. Am I going to go black? I'm going to go black. And the very fact that you do lots of things probably means you get bored if you try doing one. And you could always try mixed media. Nobody says you have to stick in one media. Okay, default guy, have a good evening, good night, and sleep well. Look forward to seeing you on a future stream. Right, so that's black. Am I gonna pick a black up there, or am I gonna pick up a? Yeah, let's pick a black up, and then we'll terminate using the black on that bit, and we'll go to orange. So this is row 3 of the 4 that I wanted to add. Do it back to the orange here, and I go up. Yeah, Illustrator. Only 2. Okay, how do you do your illustrations? Have I just done that wrong? No, I've done that right. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to like coming up there. I mean, illustrators at one time would work with watercolour, crayon, pencil, marker, airbrush, to name just a few. So Illustrator is somewhat of a misleading title in that way, Fluffy Twiggler. You haven't done any crochet for a while. Maybe that's kind of tempting me to do a little bit of crochet. Sculpting is one I've kind of looked at. I kind of wanted to do sculpting on the PC just because it's less messy. You know, I'd love to have something like Mudbox or something like that, but they're just too expensive. ZBrush perhaps, but they're just too pricey to do, and because I kind of, you know, the carving has sort of triggered a desire to want to try to do sculpting. You know, obviously it's just a different medium, same sort of idea, different medium, but don't sell yourself short, Fluffy Twiglet. I mean, traditionally, somebody who described themselves as an illustrator, you know, literally was potentially an expert in one heck of a lot of different art forms. You know, they weren't just an oil painter, or they weren't, you know, like some people are, or they weren't just an airbrush artist. They could actually work with lots of different media. So I mean, obviously I don't know what they do these days with it being electronic, but because electronic, well, you still kind of work, you know, potentially you can work with all the different medias electronically. You know, you get something like Adobe Painter, for example, and you start working with all the, you know, the different media type brushes, then you know, you still get somewhat of the same effect. Now then. I'm just wondering whether to interject a little bit of black in here at this point. Why will you not sit? Right, have I done something wrong at that end? I probably have. No. Yeah, I think I've done something wrong at that end. I'm just wondering whether to insert a bit of black into there. Okay, Cagliati. I literally don't know. I mean, obviously, I've not tried it, so I guess I maybe tried clay a long time ago, and I've played about with Sculptris a little bit, and I kind of feel like I'm missing some tools from that. But I gather, I mean, they have to be different. You know, you just don't have the same feel. It's kind of a pity you can't use some sort of three-dimensional mouse, you know, to sculpt with on the sculpting programs. Rather, you know, two-dimensional pen, or you know, makes sense. You could almost do with being able to imagine that's a stick or a scraper or something, and actually be able to use it in 3D like I am here. And then I guess it would feel a heck of a lot more like proper physical sculpting. But yeah, it was something I'd kind of like to try at some point, maybe, and maybe I will do. Digital and camera-less photography, watercolor. You see, and you do all of those, Fluffy Twiglet. You make coin rings, but you broke the Dremel. The Dremel itself, or just the tools? Because I can imagine I mean, coins obviously. I mean, I'd have thought the easiest way would either have been with some. I just suppose they are too hard to use a punch. Night Raid PvP, but I kind of the Dremel. You must have been pushing too hard then. I was going to say the sort of thing I imagine you only need something like a small drill press, don't you? To do that, to make coin rings. Although, what do you mean by you mean sort of joining coins together with things like this, rings like this, to make a ring, or you mean sort of literally carving the centre out, so you've just left with the outer edge of the ring? Dremels are a little bit kind of underpowered in a way for heavy duty work. I do have one, but it's, for example, I wouldn't use it for my carving, apart from the fact that they're noisy so-and-sos. They're kind of a little bit yeah, a little bit underpowered really. I mean, I use 3 different tools for wood carving, and if I'm using it for wood carving, I think I'd probably use it for metal carving as well. I either use a 1/4 horsepower shaft drive, or I use a micromotor, which is you know, both of which are designed to run for long periods of time, but they're not designed to, well, the 1/4 horsepower shaft drive is designed to run under a heavy load. I mean, that's the idea of it. The micromotors, though, are you meant to use the tool to do the cutting and not to force it, and that's sometimes what happens is if you start trying to push too hard with the tool rather than letting the tool do the cutting, you can you can cause problems. You hit the ring. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. You yeah, you I know what you I know what you're trying to say. you take a coin, you hit it flat basically, and which spreads the metal out, and you form it into, and then you sort of curl it around. And I'm obviously doing this with something. You curl it around into, so it, potentially, I guess you don't close it completely, but you just sort of curl it around into sort of a C shape to form the ring, and then you can engrave it and polish it. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's Dremels aren't really meant for really hard use. Oh, I don't find them. That I this is the tool that I unfortunately they cost money. They cost more than the Dremel does. But this thing essentially does the same job. It will take the same bits, although this is an adapter in it to take dental bits. So this is a dental drill. That's in the end here. But I think it takes 1/8. I've got 2 adapters in at the moment. This thing runs at about 38,000 RPM, which is about at least twice as fast as a Dremel. And it's, I won't say it's silent, but it's a heck of a lot quieter. This plugs into a control unit, so that's tucked up over the other side of the studio. But this thing runs. I have run this for about an hour non-stop, and it's just keeps going. But the thing is, you kind of have to use it like a pencil. You know, if you press with a pencil, you break the nib. This is kind of the same, but running at 38,000 RPM. You let the tool do the work, and it will do it. But I do have another one. And I have not tried polishing with this, but this is an air-driven tool, and this thing runs at about 300,000 RPM. I can stop it, or I can hold it, and it won't spin. And as long as it hasn't got a tool in the end, this is just you have to keep a shaft in the end of it when you're not using it. So I put this in, which is a dummy shaft. Without a tool on the end. Otherwise, the internal clamps relax too much and they don't work properly. But this thing, I would use this for engraving, for example. This thing, I say, runs about 300,000 RPM. With this dummy shaft in the end, I can stop it. But it will, if I put a dental bit in the end of here. I can go through the desk. I could hold that and it'll just fall through the desk. Just the weight of the tool itself will drive it straight through until it hits the top, obviously. And I could quite easily carve in the desk, but you've got to use it with a very light touch. So you know, I don't think I'd polish with this because you can't use a big wheel. Use a big wheel and spin it at 300,000 RPM, and anything out of balance will just throw it all over the place. I've done that with the micro motor. I did have I got it here. I can't find it. I keep it on my desk to remind me, but I had something like this, which is just a rubber wheel on a shaft, and it was in the micromotor. The shaft was buried up to about that sort of distance. Now with something like this, you've got a speed limit. This one's around about sort of 8,000 RPM. I accidentally forgot to limit the speed, and I put my foot on the go pedal. It shot to 38,000 RPM, and this thing, not this one, but the one that I've got, bent at a right angle. And the thing was bouncing all over the place. It it sort of startled me somewhat, and that's just literally in the spin up. But you know, the micro motor will, you know, something. Well, I wouldn't use this, but as I say, if you wind it down, then it'll spin all day. Okay, Fluffy Twigger, have a good good evening, and indeed it is, isn't it? I think it's time I stop for the evening as well. I hadn't realised time's got away from me. Thank you for the reminder. So what I'm going to do is say thank you everybody for watching. It's rather warm here, so I'm going to get a nice drink, a cool drink, and cool off. And we'll carry on with this bracelet tomorrow night. I'm probably try a 6-in-1 tomorrow as well, maybe. I might try a ring, might not, we'll see. But I want to say thank you all. If there's anybody watching that isn't following, then I would of course encourage you to do so. Don't we all? If you don't want to, though, that's quite all right. You can, if you wish, follow me on Twitter at Zaraganart. Details below the stream window. They'll be on the end plate in a moment as well. I do tweet when the stream goes live, so you can be notified that way. On the other hand, if you just like to try and catch me tomorrow, which is my next stream, then I do so at 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT, or 2.5 hours ago was 8 PM. So that time tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great night. And DKA, CEO, you too. Thank you very much. And hope to see you on the next stream. Bye bye.